music with religious or spiritual texts and themes has become a contentious issue in Canadian public school systems. The ever-present fear of offending others has created situations where many music educators are being told to exclude all music that has sacred texts or themes from their programs. This response, however, directly contradicts the mandated learning outcomes in the Manitoba music curriculum and overlooks the purposes and values music has held in human life since the beginning of time. For several reasons, scholars agree that music with sacred texts and themes is an integral part of a holistic music education. First, the history of music is rooted in sacred ideas and themes from a variety of cultures and religions around the world. Western classical music itself has stemmed from medieval chants used in the early church, and many well-known classical composers were influenced by and composed music for the Christian church. Furthermore, music in cultures all around the world was and continues to be used for religious rites and ceremonies. Omitting sacred choral music from the curriculum would not only reduce the quality of music education, but would actually present a false music education. Ignoring the prevalence of sacred choral music within the overall repertoire is, in a sense, to rewrite music history. The Manitoba Education and Youth's draft statement, The Arts in Education, asserts that in cultures around the world, life's most important events, weddings, funerals, birthdays, graduations, religious holidays, and community occasions, are observed and celebrated through the arts. The purpose of music is not simply to entertain. It is a practice that, throughout the history of mankind, has conveyed times past, beliefs, emotions, and life stories. In present day, music continues to be an important part of celebrations, holidays, and secular and spiritual lives. If music is so closely linked with the spirituality of cultures and groups of people, how can a solid music education avoid addressing the pivotal role played by music? Through the arts, we can reflect, interpret, and shape our own and others' experience and view of the world. In the process, we extend our understanding of ourselves, deepen our empathy with others, and bring meaning and a greater range of emotional response to our lives. Specifically, music gives a glimpse into the lives of others, their beliefs, emotions, and points of view. If an accurate portrayal of the world is to be established, how can the special place music holds in the sacred and spiritual lives of people all over the world be omitted? The Kindergarten to Grade 8 Music Manitoba Curriculum Framework of Outcomes provides a framework conducive to offering a music education which respects all facets of music as it relates to human life. The Manitoba Music Curriculum is presented as 4 essential learning areas, with the process of music making as the fundamental integrator of these 4 wings. Each essential learning area contains crucial connections to the use of sacred music in the school context. Understanding music in context is one of the learning areas most conducive to the inclusion of sacred music in learning activities. The general learning outcomes state, students experience and develop awareness of music from various times, places, social groups, and cultures. Students experience and develop awareness of a variety of music genres, styles, and traditions. Students demonstrate understanding of the roles, purposes, and meanings of music in the lives of individuals and in communities. There are a number of ways in which music of a sacred nature is unavoidable when addressing these learning outcomes. For example, the study of African American music would be impossible without addressing the genre of the spiritual. The value of the spiritual lies in the way that music helps to tell the history and story of a nation of people. The style of music cannot be separated from the period and context from which it was born. Exploration of the historical context offers students an opportunity to understand the purposeful function or role the style has played in history and in life today. Similarly, the study of the music of Canada's First People could not be carried out without an understanding of the culture's spiritual beliefs. For example, students may learn a piece of music about the 7 sacred teachings, or perform a rain dance asking the Creator to send rain. They may learn about the sacredness of the Aboriginal drum and how it is created, used, and respected.
The drums have a spirit. We consider these to be sacred objects because if you hit a piece of wood, you get a sound. If you hit the skin, you get a sound. But if you put the two together, they become one and they sing. And it's that voice that carries our prayer. Singing, for many First Nations people, singing is a form of prayer. For many of us, that's the most profound way we can pray, the best way we can pray.
Such learning activities do not connote indoctrination of Aboriginal spiritual beliefs, but provide a rich understanding of how a specific group of people in our community experience music in their lives. Another important purpose of music is to celebrate holidays and important events, many of which stem from sacred or spiritual beginnings. Does that mean it is no longer acceptable to acknowledge the holidays and events our students celebrate within our school community? A better, more holistic and inclusive response is to embrace the diversity and welcome the opportunity to learn about the beliefs of others through music. The Manitoba Music Curriculum mandates that students learn about the music experienced by people in their community. By learning about the important roles music plays in the lives of members in their community, students are not being instructed in religion or facing attempts at indoctrination, but expanding their worldviews and understandings of others. Artful teachers celebrate differences, embrace cultural and ethnic uniqueness, and immerse students in a relationship of respect. The learning area, Valuing Musical Experience, asserts that students analyze, reflect on, and construct meaning in response to their own and others' music. An important goal of this learning area is that students become reflective and make connections between the music they are making and hearing and their personal experiences and preferences. By acknowledging music that pertains to students' beliefs, special holidays, and daily lives, they are encouraged to value the place music holds in their lives, as well as to value differences among classmates and the wider community. The learning area, Creative Expression in Music, states, students collaboratively and individually generate, develop, and communicate ideas in creating original and interpretive music for a variety of purposes and audiences. Students are the inventors of their own music, and because they come from a variety of backgrounds and belief systems, it is inevitable that topics related to sacred or religious beliefs will arise in certain contexts. This opportunity will be magnified when creative expression is integrated with understanding music in context and valuing musical experience. Music, language, and performance skills is the learning area that focuses on helping students to develop tools for making music. These tools include rhythm, melody, harmony, expression, timbre, and form. While these tools do not directly indicate the use of sacred music, they call for the use of a variety of music samples in order to solidify understanding. Because the Manitoba Music Curriculum is intended to be used as a cohesive whole, this variety of music should present opportunities to build connections with the other essential learning areas, such as understanding music in context and valuing musical experience. It has been established that music is inseparable from life, and that the topic of sacred music will arise when exploring music that is meaningful personally, to members of the larger community, and people all over the world. In response, many school boards have attempted to put parameters in place to help guide music educators in selecting materials. However, there are several difficulties with these parameters, as they are vaguely worded guidelines that often result in the elimination of sacred music from public school music curricula because of the difficulty determining boundaries. If we truly believe that effective education embraces diversity, and if the learning and growth of students is the ultimate goal, why exclude something so inseparable from human existence as spirituality? By asking students to leave their spirituality at the door, they are not welcomed wholly to exist. Scholars advocate the creation of criteria in order to help music educators determine whether a selected piece of music is appropriate for classroom and/or performance use. When creating such guidelines, several factors must be considered. These include the context in which the music is being experienced or presented, the audience for whom the music is being performed, and the educational purpose of the music being experienced. Two aspects of music education in particular will be beneficial for the creation of appropriate guidelines: the classroom setting and the performance setting. In the classroom setting, the music selection should address one or more of the learning outcomes mandated by curriculum documents. The music selection should be grade level appropriate and reinforce a particular concept or skill being developed in the lesson. The music learning experience should focus on musical outcomes and employ explanations related to religion only as necessary to enhance musical and contextual understanding. Aspects of religious or sacred beliefs included in the activity should be presented with neutrality. The diversity of the students should be represented in the music program throughout the year. In addition to these classroom setting guidelines, the following ideas should be considered when in a performance setting. Music should not be presented in a devotional setting. The performance should not be dominantly celebrating one specific religious holiday. Performances should be used as an opportunity to educate audiences about music learning and the repertoire performed by students. With a comprehensive set of guidelines and a clear understanding of the Manitoba K-8 music curriculum, better informed discussions and decisions can take place around the topic of including music of a sacred nature in music education. Music is a social practice, and it should be used for social and human objectives, not merely musical ones. If we strip away the humanistic qualities of music and deny students the opportunity of experiencing music education that fosters personal, spiritual, emotional, and social growth and well-being, then music will lose its value and relevance. Rather than excluding in order to promote fairness, why not include? Rather than providing an educational model that influences students to hide their personal beliefs, why not foster a community of sharing, thereby aiming to encourage the building of connections, an acceptance of others, and a respect for diversity? Educators have the potential to either suppress or enrich the nature of students as music makers and as human beings. By placing constraints on how students are able to express who they are through music, the role music has played in life since the beginning of time is being altered. Music will no longer be an expression of the human heart. When the human is taken out of music, the voice is taken from the human.
You can see the truth, the way we live every day. Living honestly, being trustworthy where we work and we play. The mighty oak tree, the prairies before me, fill us with humility.
Love that is true comes from the Great Spirit.
As the eagle flies high, we're up to the sky, soaring ever closer to love. Carry our song to where we belong, where the stars and the sky become one, and we share this love with the world. We can do what is right, with courage and wisdom we speak.
We choose to stand tall, watch